Refuting every argument for God.
The fine-tuning of the universe. Everything is so precisely balanced, so ridiculously well set up for life, that it seems like someone must have booked the room in advance for us.
Yet our rooms are constantly bombarded with earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, all sorts of natural disasters and unnatural disasters, corruption, greed, evil atrocities of all kinds. And most of our planets have no life at all.
The origin of life. But in real life, meaningful information, whether it's a book, a computer code, or DNA, always comes from an intelligent mind.
In real life, invisible men in the sky don't exist. Books and computer code most definitely come from intelligent minds, but DNA does not. Natural things have natural causes. Unnatural things need unnatural causes.
Irreducible complexity. Now, imagine something way more complicated than Jenga, like the human eye, the bacterial flagellum, or even your blood clotting system. These things aren't just complicated, they are irreducibly complex, meaning they only work if all the parts are there at the same time. Remove just one and the whole system falls apart.
This is absolutely false. We have many species of animals alive today that have varying degrees of eyeball evolution, and the human eye is not even the most highly developed eye.
The existence of laws of nature. So, the universe as you know it runs on a strict set of rules which are the laws of physics, mathematics, chemistry, and thermodynamics. And energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. Which means you can't just conjure energy out of thin air unless you're a wizard.
Excuse me? Theists are the ones who believe that their sky wizard conjured things out of thin air. If matter and energy cannot be created, then God could not have created it.
I mean, if your phone ran on a perfect, never-crashing, self-updating software that no one designed, wouldn't you be a little suspicious?
Yeah, and if this life ran perfectly with no death or disease or pain or suffering or disasters, you might have a point.
The moral argument. If it's true that morality is something humans made up, then nothing is really right or wrong, it's just socially acceptable or not.
Morality is determined by society, and it changes throughout time and culture. God has not downloaded a sense of morality into all humans, nor has God written a consistent standard of morality in any holy book.
The argument from consciousness. But the question here is, how can a bunch of atoms, cells, and electrical signals create something as complex as self-awareness? And if consciousness can't be fully explained by the physical world, then maybe it comes from something outside the physical world. In other words, consciousness is like Wi-Fi that needs a source.
Not only is this a God of the gaps argument, it is also adding a level of complexity from outside of time and space.
The cosmological argument. But if everything needs a cause, doesn't that mean the universe itself must have one too?
If everything needs a cause, doesn't that mean that God himself needs one too?
The universal belief in gods. Across different cultures, continents, and historical periods, people believe in some version of God.
This is the ad populum fallacy. No matter how many people believe something, doesn't make it true. And if people are coming to different conclusions as to who God is, that means God is not talking to them.
Materialism cannot explain everything. Basically, love, joy, and deep emotional connections aren't just biology doing a chemistry experiment, they actually mean something.
Humans have to learn love. We do not download it from the sky. And the driving principle is self-preservation and survival.
But if the world is purely material, what's a soul doing in it?
There is no evidence that humans have souls. Again, you are adding complexity with no justification or evidence.
Prophecies fulfilled. The Old Testament had a long list of prophecies about the coming Messiah, and Jesus checked off an insane number of them, including getting born in Bethlehem, which was prophesied in Micah 5 verse 2, getting betrayed for 30 pieces of silver, getting hands and feet pierced, and even down to people gambling for his clothes.
All you have to do is read the context of those Hebrew scriptures to find out that none of them were about Jesus. The Romans just reinterpreted the Hebrew scriptures to fit their agenda, related to the destruction of the Jews in war.
The Bible also predicted the destruction of major cities, sometimes with details so specific it's like an ancient demolition notice.
The Bible never predicts the future, ever. They simply wrote about the destruction of the cities after the city was destroyed, but pretended God told them about it before.